Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to day 2 of the International Conference on Contemporary Researchers in Engineering, Science, Management, and Arts, ICCRESMA 2022, created and powered by Center for Research and Training, National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. So on behalf of the Presidium of NFED, I heartily welcome our Honorable Conference Chair and Chief Patron, Karmavir Jyoti, Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, Founder and Chairman of NFED, Conference Convener Dr. P. Indra, Professor in Center for Research and Training and Dean of Academics at NFED, Associate Professor X. Esther Vimala, Head of the Department of Economics, School of Management and Economics, St. Mary's College, Thoothukudi, Dr. R. Manimegalai from PSG, and Dr. V. Sunita, Associate Professor, Department of Geology, Yogi Vemana University, Kadapa, Andhra Pradesh. I express my warm welcome to our distinguished international keynote speakers of today, Ms. Devika Rani Vemmal, co-founder and chief operating officer of LTT Global Communications Private Limited, Selangor, Malaysia, Ms. Saida Ahmed, founding director of Education Partnerships UK Limited, London, and Dr. Jerry Salo, Professor and Head of Marketing Unit, Department of Economics and Management, University of Helsinki, and Adjunct Professor of Digital Marketing at Aalto University School of Business, Finland. I extend my hearty welcome to our distinguished national keynote speakers, Dr. M. Chandrasekharan, Professor and Dean of Academic Courses at Wales Institute of Science, Technology and Advanced Studies, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, Dr. Mary Cherian, Professor and Head of KCT Business School, Kumaraguru College of Technology, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, and Dr. B. Sureka, Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at KS Institute of Technology, Bangalore, Karnataka. I heartily welcome all the organizing secretaries, organizing committee members, distinguished session chairs, paper presenters, and participants to this 3-day international conference. I now express my hearty welcome to our distinguished keynote speaker, Mrs. Devika Rani Vemmal. Ms. Rani Vemmal, let me introduce you, ma'am. Good morning. Ms. Rani Vemmal is a global pioneer and leader in the edtech industry. She formed the LTT Global with a vision to empower people and transform organizations by making digital learning accessible and affordable for all. The learning platforms have been recognized by the United Nations and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, as proven building capacity platforms. She continues her work with leading partners globally to support sustainable talent upskilling. She has also been instrumental in implementation of numerous projects to empower women, youth, people with special needs, including the blind and visually impaired, and refugees to have access to quality learning to upskill themselves. She has received numerous awards globally, including the Entrepreneurial Excellence Award for Outstanding Services in the field of global mobile learning and entertainment services at the 7th National Entrepreneurs Day Awards 2020 by National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, and Asia CEO Community's Inspirational Female Business Leaders Award. She serves as board member for various organizations globally and also an honorary advisor, mentor, and speaker. At present, she is the co-founder and COO of LTT Global Communications Private Limited, Selangor, Malaysia. I now invite a distinguished speaker, Mrs. Devika Rani Vemmal, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you very much, Madam Ramya. Let me share my screen. You can see my screen. Okay.
Actually, it is blank. Yeah, now we can see, ma'am.
Okay, great. So a very happy morning again. And thank you to NFED, Dr. Ganesan, for giving me this opportunity, and also to the Center for Research and Training for organizing this conference together with NFED and giving me the opportunity. So my topic today is actually about reskilling revolution and reshaping economic growth for my keynote address. And let me just talk about what is the reskilling revolution that's going on. In January 2020, the World Economic Forum actually got together and started this reskilling revolution, where they aim to provide 1 billion people with better education, skills, and jobs by 2030. Now, why did they do this? Because in the last 2 years, many people lost their jobs. Many people had to close their businesses. Big businesses were also affected. And the whole economy came to a standstill for 2 years, right? And right now we are beginning to move, but still it's a long way to go. So why do we need to reskill or upskill? What's the difference between upskilling, which focuses on adding to an existing skill within the role, right? That is upskilling, when you're doing something in your same line of work. But reskilling is actually the process of learning new skills needed to do an entirely different job. And why we have to do this? Because during COVID, a lot of things happen, right? And one of those things that happened is our digitalization and the transformation grew very fast. And because of that, people also survived during the lockdown, because digital transformation helped people to reach out for food, people work from home. So at this rate, digital transformation has grown, and that's the reason why we have to upskill and reskill, because work is no more the same. It's, people were saying work is changing, but it's not. It's now changed and is in the process of changing further, right? And at the same time, there's lots of skills shortages. Why? Because a lot of things is related to AI or big data. Automation in manufacturing has changed to improve the processes, because people wanted to save money, because now they are already losing a lot of money. So when they put in automation, they get things faster, better quality is controlled. And because of this, digital transformation has played a very important role industry-wide. Doesn't matter whether it's services or manufacturing. As a result, people are looking for skilled workforce, okay? And routine jobs are out because robots are taking them over. Now, what do we do to reshape the economy? That's a lot of things that have to be done, okay? Jobs and productivity and growth. But jobs depends on the skill sets. There's thousands of new jobs available, but employers are saying that, they don't have people with the skill sets to be employed. So as a result, upskilling is now a transformational force by government, by individuals, by NGOs, helping people to pick up these skill sets. And as a result, because everybody is in the same mindset of growth, the workforce will become more efficient, and then there's shared prosperity. What is shared prosperity? Prosperity where there's no poverty, zero hunger, good health, quality education, right? So as a result of upskilling, we all move in a positive direction. Now, upskilling, there's two. Like if you imagine this person, he's standing in the form of T. Okay, when you look at the vertical axis, that is knowledge and work that you already possess in your work and in your industry. But when we are talking now about upskilling, we are talking about your work and industry neutral skills, because this is the one that will give you growth. Because things that you were doing before, some of them may have been replaced by robots, some have been replaced by automation and software, right? So it's white collar and blue collar. Everybody have to upskill. Now, what are we talking about when we talk about skills that's important? According to World Economic Forum, creativity is one of the set. What is creativity? Coming up with ideas, that are new and useful. You're like a problem solver, coming up to make a product or service better. At the same time, critical thinking, many people think is the same as creativity, right? But it's not. Critical thinking is when you try to understand arguments and answers and analyze them, and that gives you a better perspective. You help people to do the right decision, help them to develop visions and build strategies. Companies are looking for people with these kinds of skill sets now. Self-management. You must also be able to manage yourself. You must know who you are, what are your goals, what you want to work on, because when you upskill yourself, you become more confident and target focused, right? So you also accept change. And when you accept change, you actually grow. Social intelligence, it's also called emotional intelligence, where your communicating skills, okay, you develop good listening skills, you respond, you motivate the people around you. As such, it gives positive group dynamics. And finally, attention management. It's about time management. You divide your time into useful moments and you organize yourself. Like they say, if you fail to plan, it's planning to fail. So never stop learning. Always update with work and industry knowledge, but keep your wings, right? I always call the horizontal skill sets or soft skills as your wings, because if you develop these skill sets, no one will be able to replace you, because in today's world, right, soft skills is the one that will make you grow. Robots and all don't have soft skills, as much as they're trying to make them more intelligent and everything, but it's your soft skills that will drive you. Have your wings as your personality, and then you can face your future, because what we do will change. How we do it also will change. Technology is going too fast and human capability is struggling. But if you have all the soft skills that I just mentioned and you practice it so that it becomes your personality, you will become great, right? So I wish you the very best, and I hope you have a beautiful second day and tomorrow a great third day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rani Vimal, for your insightful address. That was very interesting. Thank you so much. And before we proceed further, I request all the keynote speakers to kindly switch on your video.
All the keynote speakers are not present. I think they will show up again. So whosoever is there, we can announce them to take the keynote. I think Sureka, Dr.
Yes,
Sureka is
Sureka
there.
Madam is there.
Yeah.
Professor Mary Cherian.
Chandrasekharan is there, no?
Yes, let me check. Let me check. Conference conveners.
It's okay. It's okay. You go ahead.
Yeah, we'll go ahead. Just a moment. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Let Professor Chandrasekharan will start that next presentation. Yeah, other two people will join later.
Yes,
okay.
sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Thank you. It's my privilege to introduce our distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Dr. M. Chandrasekharan. Professor Chandrasekharan earned his PhD from the reputed NIT Trichy, Tamil Nadu. He possesses more than 21 years of experience. His area of expertise includes job shop scheduling, optimization, flexible manufacturing system, composites, and design optimization of various gear parameters. He has published more than 150 research papers in national and international journals. He has filed nearly 14 patents, out of which 2 were awarded. He has received and completed funded projects from Combat Vehicles Research and Development Establishment, CVRDE, Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, Chennai. He has served as keynote speaker, program committee chair, technical committee member, and session chair in many national and international conferences. He serves as editor-in-chief for several international journals published by Springerling, Taylor and Francis and Elsevier, and has reviewed more than 175 research papers to his credit. In commemorating his significant academic accomplishments, he has been bestowed with Distinguished Educator and Scholar Award from National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore, Dr. Abdul Kalam Scientific Excellence Award from Marina Labs, and GRABS Educational and Research Excellence Award from GRABS Educational Trust. He is currently serving as Professor and Dean of Academic Courses at Wales Institute of Science, Technology and Advanced Studies, Vistas, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. Chandrasekharan, to deliver the keynote address. Just a moment, sir.
So first of all, let me thank Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, Chairman, National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, for giving me this opportunity. Really, I am privileged to be a keynote speaker of this particular conference. Let me share my screen. Today, my speech is more about how this design thinking will be used as a problem-solving techniques for in many companies and for developing many new innovative products. So this design thinking will be a new emerging area. So that will be used in many Indian companies and foreign companies to fulfill the needs of the customers. So if we are taking the definition of Lockwood, so he said that design thinking is a human-centered innovation process that emphasizes observation, collaboration, fast learning, visualization of ideas, rapid concept of prototyping, and concurrent business analytics. So generally, what is design thinking? Design thinking is a systematic approach to problem solving. So problem solving would be driven by three core beliefs. One is empathy, that is start by establishing the deep understanding of human needs, and invention. Invention means we are all aware that that is the discovery of new possibilities, new ideas, new products. And iteration means first we know that first level of solutions, how we can fine tune that solution to the need of customers. So these are all the three core beliefs in design thinking. So if you are seeing the process of design thinking, it is the need finding is the first step. Second thing is idea generation. Finally, developing prototype and testing. So what are all the tools which will be used for design thinking is, first one is visualization. Second one is ethnography. Third one is prototyping. And the fourth one is co-creation. And fifth one is design of experiments. And last one is collaborative sense making and idea generations. So what are all the key elements of design thinking? First one is we should understand so what is the user requirement? Second thing is we should reframe the question and challenge status quo. Third one is we should work together and for the innovations. And the fourth element is so use visualizations and create models and develop the opportunities. Final one is the testing. So if you are taking what are all the major aspects of design thinking? Empathize. First one is empathize. Second one is reframing. Third one is idea generation. Fourth one is developing the prototype. And the fifth one is testing. So if you are taking empathy, so it is the humility to realize others might have a different perspective. So suspend the judgment and then rethink about the problem. So what about collaboration? Humility to look out for solutions, listening even your juniors, and working across the cross-functionality teams. Third one is resilience. It is the humility, even though we are making some mistakes while developing the prototypes, take it positively and we should go for rework, and we should find out the best possible solutions. So what are the main four pillars of design thinking? First one is empathy, and second one is collaboration, third one is inclusion, and fourth one is repeat or iterate. So if we are taking empathy, empathize with the people needs. Second one is collaboration, collaborate with others across the discipline, so with various skill sets and perspective. And if we are taking third one, inclusion, include every idea, so which will be very useful for developing the solution and for doing our evaluation process also. And fourth pillar is repeat or iterate. So repeat, iterating and testing the solutions to perfect them, always with the human needs at the center point. So if we are taking the design thinking process, what is our design challenge? The first step is empathize. So what is the need of the customers? What is the problem background? We should analyze everything in a bigger manner. Then after collecting all the data related with the customer needs, so we should concise the problem, and we should know for what is the need of particular. We should reframe all the questions, and we should narrow down that particular problem, and we should once again diverse our thing in the problem in the process of getting various solutions. So what are all the possible solutions for that particular problem? We should go for a diversified analysis. Then we should narrow down our solution. Then we should go for developing the prototype. Finally, we should go for testing whether that particular prototype will be functioning satisfactorily or not. So this is the process of converting our design challenge into design solution. So we will take some case example where this particular design thinking will be playing a vital role, and which will be providing very good solutions for which makes a very good impact in our day-to-day real-time and real-life situations. So we are all aware that design thinking is a process which uses a solution-based approach for solving the problems. So by exploring the problems and finding the constructive solutions to effectively tackle these design problems. So it is definitely a solution-based approach which will be dealing with getting the effective solutions for the problem. So first, let me take a case example where this design thinking concept which made a very big impact. So we are all aware of Netflix. Who does not know about Netflix? Everyone will know about Netflix very well. So an innovator, design thinking practitioner, so who developed this Netflix, currently having 117 million subscribers in 190 countries. So we are all aware that it will be started in a very small manner in 1997. So with the concept of think big and start small. So Netflix started in the year 1997 with the vision of streaming the movies directly to the homes of people via internet. So initially what they did is they have sent, they delivered the movies to the doorsteps of the customers via customer email. So after that, they developed a library of movies, and they have stored all those movies, and they have started doing DVD subscriptions. So now we know what is the Netflix is doing. Netflix is the revolutionizing the user experience by using design thinking. So they are now directly the streaming the movies to the homes of the people. So with various type of testing, experimentation, as well as doing what the users, understanding the customers. So now Netflix has built a very big market. So in OTT. So this is my case example one. Second case example, one interesting example is Uber Eats. So we are all aware of how this Uber Eats are working. So what is their main mission is to make eating well effortless for everyone everywhere. So that is the main mission of Uber Eats. So Uber connects restaurants with the customers from over 80 cities across the world. So people get more option to eat. In fact, restaurants also to build their business by reaching out more number of customers. So how they have started this particular business is they first concentrated the cities where they have their own Uber works. So they initially went like a immersion program. They understand all their different markets, how different products will be fitting with the different conditions of each and every city. So they constantly immerse in the places where the customers live, work, and eat. So later on, they are slowly developed a Uber app also to connect the restaurants with the delivery guys as well as customers. So that designed Uber, that app will be giving the various directions of the restaurants as well as their pickup and delivery in a smoother manner. So initially they developed the prototype and they are keep on doing the innovation and improvements in the app. So this is the another best example of design thinking. And third example is Embrace Incubator. So we are all know that so incubator will be playing a vital role. Nearly 21 million newborn babies are 20 million premature low birth weight babies are born every year. Unfortunately, 4 million babies die due to this lack of incubator within the first month itself. So this type of death happens in low and middle income countries only. So here the design challenge is how might we create a baby warming device that helps the parents in remote villages give their dying infants a chance to survive. This is the idea. This is the need from the customers. So that company started developing a tinny sleeping bag, which containing a paraffin-based pouch, which will warm up and it will maintain a temperature for up to 4 hours. This innovative solutions was given a portable device that should be used in all the home to keep the baby warm at the correct temperature anywhere in the world. So this team took up this prototype in India and they further analyzed, they got the feedback from various moms, nurses, midwives, and shopkeepers, and they incorporated all those feedback and they further developed the prototype. So now they have done a clinical testing and they developed some 100 prototypes. So this Embrace infant warmer was finally born and it will be used in various remote villages also. So this is another case example where this design thinking will be giving a very good remedy for infant. And fourth case example, we are all aware of Procter & Gamble. So it is a leading company which will be used for making many household products. So Procter & Gamble, so initially they entered into this skincare segment. Due to the large number of competitions in this skincare segment, initially they little bit struggled to fulfill the needs of the customer as well as to keep their market demand in a better manner. So later on, what they have did is they first analyzed. So what is the need? What is the really the pain and unarticulate needs, anxiety, fear of the customers? So they identified that mid-30s women were used hand and body lotions on their face. They were worried about the keeping skin healthy and using the lotions 2 to 3 times a day. So this segment is more anxious for the skin care rather than 50 segment. So, and they want to keep the appearance also useful. Similarly, women are worried about dry skin, age spots, and uneven skins. So this Procter and Gamble, they have asked their design engineers to attract the non-customers who are using their foreign brands or the foreign brands. Instead of using the foreign brands, they want to attract with their product. So they developed this product called Olay. This cream will be used for exploring the non-customers who are in market distant from others. So they used to attract those peoples, and this Olay, they capitalized the market of this skincare product, and it fulfilled the usage of this body lotions and hand lotions. So this is the manner Procter and Gamble also used this design thinking, and they also used for capturing the market, skincare market. And next case example is, we are all aware, Nike. So it is a famous shoe brand, so which will be mainly used in sports person. So in 80s, Nike combined sports and design, and they launched a product called Air Force One. So it is the first sneaker with pressurized air technology to absorb shock to help the athletes to perform better. But later on, it became a fashion sensation of all United States people. So it just one of the example how that Nike has been using their design to improve their user experience by understanding what they need. So in general, that Nike says we are listening to the athletes about the ways that shoes impact the performance, but also hearing about the passion of for luxury material. So they merged two concepts. One is to respond the day-to-day needs, and later on they are used different styles for inspiring the customers also. So this is the another good example for design thinking process. So hope you are all understood the design thinking concept with these examples. So over the past few decades, this design thinking approach has led to success of many big global organizations, and this increase in the popularity of design thinking has led many leading universities to teach this approach in their curriculum also. So with this, I thank once again for giving me this opportunity. I hope so you will get some idea about how this design thinking concept work, and how the global companies are making use of this design thinking for getting the fulfilling the needs of the customers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Chandrasekharan, for a very enlivening address, and thank you for all this innovative case study examples you have shared with us. Thank you so much. And before proceeding, we have all our international keynote speakers and national keynote speakers available. So I request all the keynote speakers to kindly switch on their video. Professor Mary Cherian, Professor Sureka, Ms. Saida Ahmed, Professor Jerry Sello, Just a moment. I now request all the participants to kindly switch on your video so that we can take a group screenshot. Yeah. Thank you everyone. So I'm now delighted to welcome our distinguished keynote speaker, Ms. Saida Ahmed. Ms. Saida is a thought leader and socio-economic entrepreneur spanning over 20 years of solution-driven projects which benefit the economy, society, and industry. As a postgraduate of Cambridge University, she has developed extensive networks for the benefit of people and environment. She has a keen interest in promoting and working with inter-OIC and inter-OIC partnerships. She is already engaging with a number of OIC countries to offer economic, social, and trade solutions as a way of advancing their economics and the development of their respective populations, including healthcare, well-being, new technologies, and halal economy, particularly SDGs. Ms. Saida is a UNGSII ambassador and advisor for the implementation of sustainable development goals, including the development of 25 sustainable cities globally. She has been appointed as specialist advisor to the president of state of Puntland in Somalia to develop and grow the education sector, healthcare, environment and livestock sector, commerce and youth. She is the founding director of Education Partnerships UK Limited, which provides holistic education and business solutions to national and international clients. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Ms. Saida Ahmed, to deliver the keynote address. Kindly unmute yourself, Ms. Saida. Yeah.
Thank you so much to Professor Garnison and the organizing committee for extending the invitation to speak at the event today. I think today, for me, it's very important that we look at where do we want to go in the future, and to look at where we want to go in the future and what we can do as our part in the future. So if you take ourselves back to pre-pandemic era and take us back to 10 or 20 years ago, nobody at this moment, from that 20 years ago to 10 years ago to even a year before the pandemic started and hit us all, would we have imagined that we would see a world that we're experiencing at this moment in time. And then over this period of time, when the journey started for us, we looked at the pandemic as maybe something that would happen for 2 months, 3 months. People were complaining that, children's school was disrupted, workplace settings were affected, economy, society, and so forth. However, whatever we imagined and whatever we thought was happening, it was actually much more different. So that 1 or 2 weeks became 1 or 2 months to 6 months to a year to now we're going on to 2 years. And actually we know now that the world that we will see is so very different to what we've experienced already. And it's unlikely that it will go back to the pre-pandemic era. But what can we take from this time? And what can we take from what will happen in the future so that we as universities, as society, as businesses can actually embrace what the future brings? One of the first things that you read about, you have lectures, is about the constant change that is happening around us, and being able to embrace that change. It's one thing that we can talk about, change is always happening and so forth, but saying something just because a famous author or an academic or a guru in this area has said it is one thing. How do you embrace change? And actually, if you look at the response and what's happened with the pandemic, it actually shows you how the large organizations, so many of them were not prepared in terms of their systems of that change that was going to happen. The second thing beyond change was the ability to be resilient and flexible. What does this mean? Well, first of all, because the circumstances changed, people didn't say, oh, well, now that the circumstances has changed, we can't work from an office, so let's shut the government departments down, let's shut our businesses down. Even the people who hated doing things differently had to re-look at how they did things. And they had to appraise what they were not necessarily willing to appraise. It made us aware of the risk that all of us are having to face in terms of cybersecurity, in terms of new risks such as health, in terms of our well-being, in terms of our vulnerabilities. And as a result, it's about knowing how we as organizations and people can be resilient. One of the interesting things that the pandemic showed us, that it's not about economic imperatives over everything. It's about holistic goals and how we look at business, how we look at living, how we look at our role in society, and we join all of this together and say, okay, it doesn't matter whether you're a bank, whether you're a government organization or a hospital, how do we try to come together? And as the previous speaker mentioned about design orientated thinking, actually, how do we come together holistically, joining together for the common good and for common impact in terms of environment, in terms of society, and in terms of profit? So you look at people, profit, and you look at a planet. So looking after what is around us and also what is in us is so much important, and in a business, as well as actually making the money. And I think that the resilience and the ability for us to continue, not just as a business, so the sustainability of that business, how long it keeps going, how can it adapt to the current context and the future, but also looking at it from a resilience of us as human beings. Are we able to look after ourselves? Are we able to recreate ourselves and the people that we work with? Are we able to reconnect on new ways of thinking and new ways of doing things? No longer can we look at the old way and say, well, in the global north, for example, they've done things this way, so we should lead by their example. Actually, the whole world is reprofiling and re-energizing. And at this moment in time, the solutions that come will not necessarily come from the global north. They will come from Asia, they will come from South Asia, from Southeast Asia, from Africa, from the Middle East, and so forth. But it's about how those solutions will actually address and support the current and the future needs, and how we recognize and value. And value is a really important word here, because I think for so long, so many of the countries that were, for example, previously colonized, they didn't recognize their worth. They looked at themselves and their identity and what they had as stones, rather than the diamonds or the gems that they were. And my last point is about, how do you learn to value what you've got to bring in today's time and the future? How do you be able to translate that resilience and the embracing of change into something far more substantial, and something which not only benefits the local area, the national arena, but the global marketplace and the global audience? How do you and your team actually benefit as well as contribute to this space? We have a phenomenal opportunity in front of us, be that in India, be that in London, be that in Kuala Lumpur, wherever it may be in the world. We have an opportunity for wonderful people who may have lived in slums. They may have lived in conditions that are further than optimum, to be able to be creating the solutions for the future. We have to be prepared to listen and give them a voice, and move away from the old hierarchical structures, which meant that the voices only of a few were heard by the many. Now is the time where the voices of the many must be heard by the few, to create a future for us all. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm more than happy to take questions.
Thank you, Ms. Saida, for your delightful address. Thank you so much. So,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think there are any questions from the participants, and thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining, despite the time, by 4 o'clock in the morning. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, take care. Okay,
yeah,
goodbye.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Bye. I now express my warm welcome to our distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Jerry Sello. Professor Sello holds Doctor of Science in Economics and Business Administration from the University of Oulu Business School, Finland. He has been teaching over 30 different courses in the area of marketing and management for doctoral students, master and bachelor level students in Finland, Greece, Australia, South Africa, and Italy. Professor Sello has also been involved in EMBA management education for over 15 years in Finland, specializing in digital marketing and digital business. His research topics include digital marketing, industrial marketing, branding, consumer behavior, innovation, commercialization of innovation, sports marketing, and project marketing. He has over 190 scientific publications, including books. His publications appear in Journal of Business Research, European Journal of Marketing and Industrial Marketing Management, Computers and Human Behavior, and International Journal of Information Management, among others, and has attracted over 3,000 citations. Professor Sello has the top 40 highest H index amongst digital marketing researchers globally. He has also appeared in the national TV in Finland and national radio, and is invited as keynote and guest speakers in many conferences and events. At present, he is the professor and head of marketing unit, Department of Economics and Management, University of Helsinki, and adjunct professor of digital marketing at Aalto University School of Business, Finland. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. Jerry Sello, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you for all the conference participants and the people who are attending the conference and then the conference organizers. Can you see my screen at the moment, or?
Yes, we are able to see Professor Sello.
Excellent, thank you. Thank you, and then thank you for the introduction. I prepared short introduction of myself as well, but since I was already nicely introduced, perhaps I will just update that there's 4,000 citations and 206 publications, and still the number of run marathons is 25. So perhaps I will try to increase that number in the future. And there are some of the universities that I have been full professor, and University of Cape Town, Oulu Business School in Finland, Oulu and Aalto University Business School that has the Triple Crown accreditation. And then at the moment at University of Helsinki. But perhaps these are not the details that you are actually wanting to hear from me, but actually the keynote itself. So as I heard before, the frugal innovation has altered how businesses are doing their business, as well as consumers are adapting new kinds of innovation. So in that way, I can see that the digital marketing and digital business has a role in transforming the society. And the basis of the digital marketing, of course, is that how we kind of conceptualize digital marketing. And of course, there was some mentioning about Uber, for example, and other kind of sharing platforms. And those are, of course, kind of delivering the value to the customer. They are changing the ways value is delivered for the customer. And of course, before that, we have to be able to kind of demonstrate and show the value for the customer. And of course, then one option is that we will just create the value for the customer with digital marketing tools, for example. And Nokia mobile phones have been doing that for many, many years, creating the value. But when iPhone was introduced, they realized that just creating the value itself is not enough, that you have to be innovative, and then you have to be able to capture the value that you create. So in that way, for example, the text messages that we send and the chat in the internet, those are developed in Finland, but nobody had time or wisdom to monetize those innovations. So that is the one issue, that you can create value, but then be sure that you are the company or the person who is getting also the money back, so capturing the value. Then, of course, one aspect of this is the communication part, that we communicate the value, that we have created the value and the customer understand that, okay, this is the value that you are going to gain with, if you buy from our product and our company. So that can be done also with digital tools that you have, for example, the mobile apps, and then you communicate to your customer the value that you have. And of course, you you kind of compare that to the competitors. You are providing kind of comparison points, and you're trying to say that your Tesla truck is better than other trucks, that the Tesla has longer distance with the electric batteries and so forth. So that the comparison aspect is quite often important, that you can contrast the products and services with digital marketing tools, and that helps then you to sell the products, of course. And then we talk about the delivering of the value as well. So that the digital marketing and digital business aims at delivering the value to the customer. So in early 2000, when Toys R Us, the already bankrupt company, they were launching internet commerce, so that the customers could order products online in early 2000. They were really, really proud that they had this service, and in November they were getting lots of orders, and in December even more orders. And when Christmas came, a majority of the customers didn't receive their Christmas presents. So as a father, as a mother of a family who have ordered products for the Christmas from Toys R Us, they were quite unhappy. Of course, the Russian guys were happy because their Christmas is later in January, and they could then receive their products. But Toys R Us misled in that they couldn't deliver the products that they were promising to deliver to customers. So I'm always saying to my students and the managers that if you say that you will deliver on a Thursday, make it happen on Thursday, that you will deliver on Thursday. And if you have a time slot of 20 minutes and between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, then you have to deliver on that time that you have promised for the customer. because that makes then your customer's life easier if you can deliver on the promised time. And of course, what we are doing here is we are creating value for the customer, in some cases jointly. So we are jointly creating the products, we are jointly creating the innovations, and the customer is part of the process, as are our employees. So we have a huge amount of knowledge and wisdom in our employees, and those are part of the creation process. And we also aim at managing the process so that it's profitable, of course, for our company, but then for the wider stakeholders, the customers, and the organizations. So, of course, the COVID situation has impacted quite many companies here in Finland as well. I have friends in Australia and South Africa and so forth, and I'm hearing that the majority of the businesses are hit by the COVID. Not all, of course. If you think about Meta, for example, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Snapchats, and those, they are not impacted by the COVID. They are actually doing better than ever. Tesla is doing better than ever. Alphabet company is doing better than ever. Amazon is doing even 10 times better than before. So there are businesses that are successing because of COVID as well. And the COVID is popularized at the moment. So I have evaluated at least 20 different papers that are saying that COVID alters everything. And I'm saying that, okay, it might be for the short run, but the theory is developed for the long run. So if you think about force is mass times acceleration, it is still that even though there is COVID. So the truly well-developed theory is so robust that COVID doesn't destroy the theory. So I'm not sure if all is going to be changed because of COVID, but of course you and your family have to be careful, and it is deadly disease for quite many people. This digital marketing definition or digital business definition, this provides kind of a basis for understanding that how is the digital transformation happening. So that digital transformation is like Saida was saying, that we have processes, we have changes in systems. So that the digital transformation is one kind of change in a system or process in the system. It's easiest to think that there's a time. There's time 0 and then there's time 1, and something happens over time. So some of the companies are adopting digital marketing tools or digital business tools and using those. Then there's a change in some of the processes. And of course, in big companies, you will have multiple overlapping digital marketing tool adoptions happening. So the change might be happening on the multiple levels of an organization. And Srivastava in 1999 and his research team, they won the best paper award in journal marketing by publishing a paper that was saying that the stakeholder value is increased via 3 processes. And the 3 processes are presented here with the colors. So they were talking about customer relationship management. So that was popular talk at the time. And nowadays it's called customer experience management. And that aims at a performance management, of course, that we will get customers, we'll get right customers at the right time. And then we have the supply chain management process. So that the supply chain management process brings us the right suppliers, the right components for a company. Or if you are in a restaurant business, then we have to have the right ingredients in order to manufacture the food for our customers. So all the kind of raw materials, components, third parties who are providing us services and so forth, we can think of those as something that we need in our production. So this is the supply chain management. Some of the supply chain management scholars have said that this is not the case anymore, that we have now this kind of demand chain management, so that it's more automatic and so forth. So we could have here the demand chain management as well if you prefer that concept. Then I have the frugal innovation or innovation, and some say it's more about the new product development. Okay, it might be, but it's also about new service development, that we are developing new services. So sometimes I say that this is a candy wrapper. So if you think about the candy, and the candy is inside, so that is the innovation, that is the company. On the other side, we have the customer relation management. So we are facing the customers. And then on the other side, we have the supply chain management. So we get the raw materials, we produce them, and then we sell those to the market. So if you think about Google, for example, Google provides free software. So free software comes from the innovation and then the developers who are developing the software. And then they have the market. So they have what we call two-sided market. So there are companies who are benefiting from the products, and then they're advertising. And then there are the customers who are then sold to, and without those customers who are using the products, there's no advertisement, and then they're not getting any money. So most of the money comes from the advertisement, for example. So these are the three key processes, and those are embedded in these kind of boxes that are illustrating, for example, that we have business strategy. And business strategy is dictating what are these processes. So if it says that we are best in food business and we try to get the best restaurant done, so that is our business. Customer strategy is saying that what kind of customers we want to have, what kind of customers we want to keep, and then what kind of customers we want to get rid of. So for example, many of the banks try to get rid of many customers because they are not profitable customers. Insurance companies are doing the same. They want to get rid of some customers, and telecommunication companies as well. So there's a value creation and value capture. So all the process aims at value creation and value capture. We have information systems that are helping us to do these things. And then of course we have the multi-channel integration. So that is the key part for today's lecture. This is that all the digital marketing tools that we have available, we can use those in certain parts of these processes that aim at creating stakeholder value. So for example, if I mention extranets, for example, those are mainly used in supply chain management. If I say artificial intelligence, it's quite often used in customer experience management processes. If I say machine learning and data science, those are quite heavily linked to customer relation management. Or sensors that are providing us data about the, for example, mining dumpers in mine, they are used in supply chain management quite often, and robotics and so forth. So these are all providing us data, and then of course we are managing those, and those are creating us the stakeholder value there. I would like to thank you all for listening to my presentation, and if you're interested about this, this is available from me as well, so I can give this to you if needed. So jari.salo@helsinki.fi, you can email me, I can give this, or then I can give this to organizers of the conference, or put it to my SlideShare if this is something that interests you. And this is a tool that I use quite often with the managers that show that what is happening and how the change is happening. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Salo, for your detailed inputs on the digital marketing and everything.
Thank you, Professor Salo, for being in the early morning for the sake of your brother. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. After a very long time, after 10 long years, you are meeting in the Zoom. Yeah. Hope you are doing well. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Salo. Thank you. I now extend my warm welcome to our distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Mary Cherian. Professor Dr. Mary Cherian has an academic career spanning over 3 decades of experience in industry and academics, having juggled various roles, headed projects, and set processes to deliver meaningful, measurable outcomes. Her teaching, research, and consulting interests are in marketing and strategy. Her training expertise also includes behavioral modules and skill building like critical thinking and negotiation. Apart from her roles related to teaching, research, assessments, and administration, she has also headed projects and set processes in order to get eligibility for international accreditation, NAC and NBA, curriculum design and development, consultancy and training for corporates. She has numerous publications in both national and international conferences and journals, Scopus and Web of Science publications, and several book chapters to her credit, and also serves as an editor and editorial member for various journals. She has been honored with the Best Project Guide Award from CMA in 2008, Senior Educator and Scholar Award from NFED in 2014, Master Strategist Award from PSGIM 2016, and Best Management Teacher Award from CMA in 2017. She is currently serving as Professor and Head of KCT Business School, Kumaraguru College of Technology, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. Mary Cherian, to deliver the keynote address.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible. The screen is visible.
Visible. Okay. Okay. So I'm Professor Mary Cherian, as she introduced me. Thank you for that introduction. So I come from KCT Business School. We offer two programs. One is the MBA General and the MBA in IEE, which is Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Venture Development. So today, the focus of my talk, we were talking of so many things. We're talking of so many evolutions. We're talking of digital marketing. We're talking of, a lot of changes that has happened, from 2020 onwards. Huge changes that are, forcing us to, and has forced us to, learn new behaviors, learn new things, skilling. We talked of 2025. We said a lot of skills. There was a list of skills that the World Economic Forum came up with, saying that, all these skills are necessary. But then now, even before 2025, we've already become experts in that. Essentially because, one, the digital transformation started, and then COVID came in, and, we all were forced to, move in. And digital actually happened at the right time, so that when COVID came in, we were able to seamlessly move on to this particular, to this particular digital transformation age. So, so therefore, with such a lot of changes in the world around us, in the context of our living is so much changed. There's such a lot of change management happening. There's such of learning happening. We are all going up the experience curve, the learning curve. Our learning curves have become, very steep. We're learning new things. All that is happening. So where should research be? So that was my thought process, and I thought I should talk to you about this. So, we are talking of the industrial revolution. We're talking of 4.0. So industry 4.0, last year we had a lot of talks on industrial 4.0. We understand that we have cyber physical systems now. The cyber comes into our physical systems. Internet of Things is something that we are very familiar with. Cloud computing, cognitive computing, creating the smart factory. Why smart factory? Because now we don't have workers. All of us are sitting at homes, working from homes, essentially because of COVID, and it looks like it's not going away. So we need to have smart workplaces. And essentially, so that was Industry 4.0. It got actually accelerated because of digital transformation. You look at internet connectivity, look at telecommunication. We're looking at 4G. We are almost looking at 5G. There's one country that has the thing. We still, of course, have some issues, but I'm sure we will cross all that. And then, of course, if you look at it, there are some industries that has already transitioned to 5.0. And there are a few of them who have transitioned to 6.0. So, we are in this region of flux, where some of our industries are at 4.0, some of them are at 5.0, very few of them are at 6.0. But, with the process has started, the juggernaut has started rolling. And, Industry 5.0, again, you're looking at a new production model. It is looking at interaction between humans and machines. Half the workforce is going to be robots. And maybe I will have a colleague who is a robot, who is going to work with me, and I need to collaborate with him, work with him. That's the scenario that we're looking at in a couple of years from now. We're already doing a lot of our work is getting done online using chatbots. So we're already working alongside with some type of robots. We could have physical robots that we are working with in the future. 6.0 is talking of customer centric, highly customized thinking. On the other hand, where 3D printing is actually it has already changed the world. I can get a 3D printer, build my own house, put in materials, whatever, come and so it's actually eliminating the need for so many people in the value chain. I can build my own house, I can build my own products, provided I have the right ingredients in the 3D printer, and someone has sold me that particular model, fills up the printer for me, and I just come and print up a house or print up a machinery. That's the amount of customization that is already working into our lives. And we are going to have hyper-connected factories, dynamic supply chains, data flow, flowing across domains. Now, of course, we have silos of information, but then when all these information are connected, we are going to have much more information to make better decisions and all that. So this is the scenario as far as the industry revolution is concerned. Then, of course, we have new terminology. We have marketing 5.0. Philip Kotler is talking of marketing 5.0. He's talking of 6.0. HR is talking of 4.0 and 5.0. Finance is talking of 4.0. All this, and where does all the the consequences of all this happen? It's you're seeing it in society. So society, Japan is talking of society 5.0. What does that mean? Okay, and industry is is still in the 4.0. Most of us are still in 4.0. So you're looking at 5.0. Marketing is talking of application of human mimicking technologies which will create, communicate, deliver, and enhance value across the customer journey. Lot of technology into marketing as such. So it's going to become techno marketing, technological, where marketing itself is going to use a lot of technology. And 6 is talking of something even more ethereal, in the sense that they're saying that brand reputation and trust and commitment to sustainability, that is how companies are going to be recognized in marketing 6.0. And it's going to be marketing's job to build brands that are reputed, that are trustworthy, that is known for its commitment to sustainability. And marketing, talking of sustainability, marketing is essentially into selling. We still use a selling approach. We are still looking at pushing things down people's throat. Many products are still there that still use that approach and failing in the market. But then marketing 6.0 is talking of commitment to sustainability. HR is talking of creating a framework for shaping people strategies. How do I manage people? Because now I have half people, half robots also. How work and the workforce evolve and how businesses will continue to produce value. And HR 5 is looking at 5.0 is looking at employee well-being. Okay, and he's looking at employee well-being. He's looking at creating a non-perfectionist work environment where it's okay to get it wrong. So failures are supposed to be celebrated. Failures, and it's these are the opportunities for us to understand that we are going up. Huge research opportunities and all this. Okay, sorry. Yeah, and of course, finance is a lot of financial operations have used technology. Blockchain in a huge way is transforming financial operations across all banking, all non-banking sectors, and all that. Everything, our payments. I don't know if any of us even use money now for payments. All of us are into Paytms, and we have UPIs, and we have net banking. Net banking has almost gone out. We've evolved from net banking to other modes of payment online. So our payment is is gone from, I don't know how many of us have visited banks in the past 2 years. So fintech is taking over. So robotic process automation, AI, cloud computing, blockchain, Internet of Things, all these are transforming our workplaces, our homes, our societies, our communities, and pushing us into society 5.0. And Japan is already there. They're already talking of society 5.0, where they're saying, our lives are going to be, together in terms of robots. We need to live along with robots. So, we might as well create workspaces, home spaces, communities, societies around this new concept. Okay, and that is what societies 5.0 is talking of. So, where should our research be then? If the whole world is changing, the context in which we are living is changing, then where should our research be? So that's why I came up with something called Research 4.0, where our R&D, it has to be rooted in our reality. Where are we living? In the context that we have ample opportunities for research in the reality around us. And research should help us understand that reality and should change the reality. So if there is a problem in society, in the community, if there is a problem that an entrepreneur has, an industry has, then we should be able to change the reality for them using our research. And one speaker talked of the empathy coefficient. Yeah, empathy coefficient is N. If we want to live now and be good, As a researcher, we need to be able to empathize with other people's problems. Only then can we take them and find solutions that have huge impact, that are sustainable. We are also talking of grassroots research. Our research has to be grassroots. It has to involve problems of the local community, the society that we live in. We have ample problems. So, the traditional PhD, the traditional, any research that we do is we go to review of literature, find a research gap, and, try and address the research gap using our research. I think we need to go and find out what are the gaps in the local community. What problems do we have? Pick up a problem from there. And then go to literature to try and understand what the literature says about how we go about solving that problem, and then go. I think the mode of, how we pick up our problem has to change. So it has to involve the local community. Also, the importance of blue sky research. Blue sky research is something that happened in, Alva Edison and Einstein's time. Rarely happens now. It happens only in few research labs, pockets, but then it should become the mainstay. So it's essentially curiosity-driven science, where your curiosity drives you to research. It drives you to go find out what it is. So essentially, it may not have any immediate outcomes. It may not have any objectives. You're only driven by your curiosity, and that's the only objective. You're curious, and I think this has to come back into the mainstream research. And I hope that our universities, our supervisors, our PhD supervisors will try and look at how we can do this through our research. And I think we need to drive it to our students. How universities, through their programs, through our PhDs, through research papers, whatever that you publish, can it be of use to someone? Is it sustainable? The outcome of your paper, the research paper that you have submitted, is it sustainable? Is there a large impact on social, environmental, humane, because you did the research? Or is it just a conference paper? That's it, and no more use for that. So I think we need to slowly move our mindset from just a research paper to research that will have huge impacts, that are sustainable, that will provide solutions to entrepreneurs, to industries, to businesses, to society, to the community, and to ourselves. And the last thing I would like to say and close off is that failure is a stepping stone. We've heard this often and often in our life, but to what? Is it only to success? It is a stepping stone, maybe to another failure, but then it's definitely a stepping stone to greater learning. Unless we fail, we're never going to learn. How many of us understand this? We all know that every failure has given us great learning. But why is it that we don't encourage our students to fail? Why is it that we don't encourage our children to fail? Why is it that we don't encourage, or we are happy that entrepreneurs fail? Because they learn a valuable lesson out of failing. So we need to celebrate failures, not just successes. We write case studies on success stories. Can we write case studies on failures? Can we, take up failures and try and understand what went wrong where? That itself is research. Now, if we can do that, I think research 4.0, will be in line with industry 4.0, 5.0, 6.0, marketing 5.0, 6.0, HR 5, and finance 4.0. We will be, we will go along. Research will not lag behind, and we don't have to wait for other people in other parts of the world to tell us what to do. We can start our own research. We have umpteen number of problems in our country that we can take up research on and provide solutions that has large impact for our community and for ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Mary Charan. Thank you for your enthralling address. And we all actually have messages for you in the chat box also from our conference co-convener, Dr. Sunita. She has said it's a very inspiring talk, and other presenters are also told it's very valuable, informative and inspiring. So thank you so much, Professor, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. I will look at the comments.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I now extend my warm welcome to our distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Dr. B. Sureka. Professor Sureka earned her doctorate in image processing with a special focus on copyright protection of images from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad. She has served in various engineering colleges and has over 16 years of experience. Her current research includes interests are image and video analytics, machine learning, biometrics, biomedical signal and remote sensing. She has filed 1 Indian patent, published 9 books, 22 book chapters, and more than 50 Scopus indexed research papers, and has more than 700 Google Scholar citations. Her international recognition includes her professional memberships and services in refereed organizations, program committees, editorial and review boards, wherein she has been a guest editor for 3 journals and reviewer for many refereed and indexed journals published by IEEE, IET, Elsevier, Taylor and Francis, Springer, IGI Global, etc. She has received several research grants and awards from professional bodies and Karnataka state government. She has received Young Women Achiever Award for her contribution in copyright protection of images, Distinguished Educator and Scholar Award for her contributions to teaching and scholarly activities from NFED, Women Achievers Award from the Institution of Engineers India for her prominent research and innovative contributions. She currently serves as professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at KS Institute of Technology, Bangalore, Karnataka. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. Sureka, to deliver the keynote address.
Am I audible, Ms. Ramya?
Yes, you're audible, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Ramya, for the introduction. It is a great pleasure for me to take part in the conference. I would like to thank the organizers of the conference for this opportunity. I congratulate all authors of the selected research papers of this conference. For the next 10 minutes, I shall be talking about computer vision and artificial intelligence, the associated applications and the challenges. Well, before I begin the discussion on computer vision, let us first observe the image shown on the screen and try to describe the scene visible in this image. Now, if I ask to name it, will probably come up with the words as chair or couch with wooden arms, a blue pillow, a boy, a woman, some jewelry, an envelope, a gift cover, wall. Now, if I ask you to describe the picture, you will see a picture of a South Indian family, probably a mother and son, and the photo was captured during some festival or during some event in their house, again, without giving it a second thought. Those are two very even tasks, very easy tasks that any person with the below average intelligence and above the age of 6 years would accomplish. Easily describe the scene. Now, if I ask you that whether a computer can do all these jobs and can list the same objects and categorize the same scene, the answer is the current technology, the computer is mostly able to do these object detection, object recognition tasks. But how well? It is possible, but with the computer vision algorithms along with artificial intelligence techniques. So what is this computer vision and artificial intelligence? Computer vision algorithms enables the computers to identify, process the objects, the images and videos the same way that the humans. But it is worth noting that the computer vision and the artificial intelligence are not one and the same. While both are forms of the technology meant to make our jobs easier and more convenient, they are not identical. While computer vision tries to mimic the human visual system and object recognition and classification, art deals with machines exhibiting the behavior which is similar to human intelligence. Like, for example, AI that is artificial intelligence, deals with making decisions the way humans would analyze in a situation, learning from experience, understanding the language, carrying on conversations with humans, or interacting with other machines, or even solving problems which creatively in a new way. So having understood the difference between computer vision and artificial intelligence, let us know, why do we want this computer vision intelligence techniques? Because these days, cameras are everywhere. Taking pictures is non-invasive these days, and it is very inexpensive. The number of images uploaded on internet is one issue. We have images on WhatsApp, we have images on Facebook, Instagram, we have lots of videos on YouTube, we have lots of feeds of security cameras. Medical images are acquired from different imaging modalities. We have plenty of scientific images obtained from satellites. In such scenarios, computer vision is very, very essential, because we need to see all these images, all these lots of images automatically, and to get most out of them. Instead of just automating the manual tasks, the artificial intelligence also performs frequent, high volume computerized tasks. And it does so very reliably and without any fatigue. So further, artificial intelligence adds intelligence to the existing products. Many products already use, you see, the Siri, which was an added feature on a new generation Apple product. Another reason why artificial intelligence is important is that AI adopts the progressive learning algorithms. AI finds the structure and the regularities in data so that algorithms can acquire skills. Just as an algorithm can teach itself how to purchase, it can also teach itself what product to be recommended next online when we are watching any YouTube videos or when we are Googling anything. So AI, that is artificial intelligence, achieves incredible accuracy through deep learning. Our interactions with Alexa and Google are all based on deep learning. And these products keeps getting more and more accurate when we more use them. Although it is difficult to pinpoint where exactly the roots of AI, but if I trace back to the 1950s, when an English mathematician, Alan Turing, published his article, Computer and Intelligence, he has described there in that article how to, and in particular, how to test these applications or this intelligence. So the Turing test, if you see, it is still considered today as a benchmark to identify the intelligence of any artificial system. The word artificial system was officially coined about 6 years later, in 1956. Computer scientists at Stanford University hosted an 8-week-long summer research project on artificial intelligence. That conference was followed by a period of nearly 2 decades that saw a significant success in the field of AI. One reason for the initial lack of progress in the field of AI and the fact that the reality fell back was because the early expert systems were structured as in a top-down approach. I mean to say that the code was written like a series of statements. However, such expert systems cannot be easily adopted for the face recognition applications. So later, some statistical methods and artificial neural networks based methods were developed, but they were not successful at that time because the computers did not have sufficient processing power to handle the work that is required by artificial neural. But artificial neural networks have made their comeback once again in the form of deep learning. 2015, I think, a program developed by Google was able to beat the world champion in the board game Go, which is much complex than playing the chess. So though computer vision has been around since 1960s, but only recently has it been possible to build very interesting applications. Then robotics, neuroscience, and many other associated technologies, which are shown in this screen. So here, because of the shortage of time, I just list some applications which are very, very interesting applications of computer vision and artificial intelligence. Apart from all well-known applications like facial recognition, human tracking, human pose estimation, and all, if you see in retail industry, computer vision enables more streamlined shopping experience by providing mobile devices with the ability to recognize objects based on their images alone. Amazon, if you see, they unveiled 18 Amazon Go stores where shoppers can bypass lines and pay for items right away. With computer vision, cameras are used to let employees know when something was taken off the shelves. It can also identify the returned items or removed items. So your Amazon Prime account will be charged once you finish filling. In transportation, if you see, self-driving cars like Tesla and Google are already actively using computer vision to ensure safe. So AI-based computer vision can sense the surroundings to identify various objects, traffic signals, and many more on the road. And cars today have dynamic cruise control that can maintain a safe distance from vehicles. Computer vision also helps in overlaying and embedding virtual objects on real-world imagery in devices like smartphones. So as if I keep on telling the applications, there are plenty, but what are the challenges? What are the real challenges? Just because there are a lot of real-world applications that work well in practice now, we may feel that computer vision and artificial intelligence seems to be easy. Perhaps because it is so effortless for humans. But after decades of research too, computer vision and AI remains unsolved in terms of meeting the capabilities of human visual system and human intelligence. One reason is we don't have a strong grasp of how human vision works. Another reason why it is such a challenging problem is because of the complexity inherent in the visual world. For example, a given object may be seen from any orientation or any lighting condition or with any type of occlusions from the objects. Note that the scale variations also play a very role. A true vision system must be able to see in any of the infinite number of scenes and still extract some useful information. Identifying the energy efficient solutions for computer vision and AI is also the need of the hour, as they have a very wide range of applications in mobile phones or drones and autonomous robots. Intelligent systems equipped with digital cameras carrying limited energy. So in future, we look forward to see many other interesting applications of computer vision and AI, which are energy efficient and highly accurate in the future. So with this overview on computer vision and short brief on artificial intelligence, I wish to wind up my talk. I thank all the organizers once again for giving me this opportunity. And I wish you all the best. All the authors of the articles, research articles, and the presenters, I wish you all the best for all the 3 days. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Sureka. It's very informative about this artificial intelligence. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And I thank all the national and international keynote speakers for their venerated presence in this international conference today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.